to Enlightenment of Change on webtalkradio.com. I'm your host, Connie Whitman. My guests and I are excited that you're joining us this week. So here's the deal. I know we hear that word change and we get the knot in our stomach because life is filled with change. So to help make your journey of change a little bit easier, in the show notes, you'll see a link for my communication style assessment. I have found in my 4 decades in business that if we could communicate more effectively, we reduce conflict, we create joy, and communication just seems to be a heck of a lot easier. So take the link. Take the little assessment. You'll get 2 reports. One will spotlight your natural communication superpowers. The other report, kind of more important, will reflect your blind spot or your lowest score, which I think is even more valuable. So again, the link is in the show notes, my gift to you to help you navigate change. Now, my quote today, just to set the stage for my guests and my conversation, is by Robert G. Thompson. And Robert says, customer-centricity should be about delivering value for customers that will eventually create value for the company. Now, the root of sustainable growth is having customers who buy and then go and evangelize our company. However, surveying all visitors and customers doesn't always show why or what the customers want to buy. To decipher this, you have to blend qualitative and quantitative research. So who is my amazing guest today that we're going to dig into this? His name is Valentin Radu. He is the pioneer of the CVO Movement, Customer Value Optimization, and the founder of CVO Academy, where he teamed up with prominent professors and practitioners to teach people how to achieve sustainable growth by understanding and caring for their customer. Sign me up for that one. He's also the author of CLV Revolution, a highly appreciated book for companies looking to get serious about customer lifetime value. Valentin's experimentation mindset has led him to develop the CVO methodology and cutting-edge technologies for experimenting online and in brick-and-mortar stores, being the first that enabled companies to optimize their customer lifetime value across all touch points. He is a lifelong entrepreneur, and he has successfully built 4 companies, including his current venture, OmniConvert. I can't talk today, Valentin, which provides CRO and CVO solutions to retail giants like Avon, Patagonia, Auchan, and many others. So Valentin, welcome to the show. And I'm really curious about this topic and our conversation today. So thanks for being on.
Thanks a lot, Connie, for having me. I'm really excited to get the party started.
You got, I like it. All right. So CVO, it can be applied to all types of businesses, again, such as B2B businesses, or is it only used for e-commerce and retail companies? Is there
It can work for any type of business. However, we focus more on B2B and B2C e-commerce and retail stores, but that can work for pretty much any company. I mean, unless you have contracts with the government, let's say, or unless you are stealing money from somewhere, you have to have clients. And if you have clients, then you need to optimize their value, right? So so basically that's for any company that has customers. You can optimize and monitor the customer lifetime value.
And our customers are important. If we don't have customers, we're not in business very long, right? So this is valuable information that can enhance our business, whatever, proposition, deliverables, et cetera. How does understanding the consumer behavior help us optimize that customer value?
So we're all in the business of changing the behavior. I mean, even if we want to change the behavior of our partner or of our kids, we are in this business. But in the business of changing, of building a better company, of having a more profitable company, we're in the business of changing the behavior of strangers to become customers and of customers to become amazing repeat customers, right? So to change the behavior of the customers, you need to do something. I mean, it's clear that you can't simply push them to buy again. And in order to make them buy again in a natural way, then you need to understand what's wrong with what you've did already. So I'm not looking at companies as being, let's say, fixed systems that they are going to be sustainable forever. I mean, we are seeing that we are all in this crazy dynamic world where the competition is skyrocketing. You have tons of alternatives to buy from other suppliers, vendors, or whatever, which means that you need to fix what's broken in the customer journey, in the value proposition, in the products that you're selling. And for that, I've built this bit by bit, to be honest. In the last 20 years of working with customers, I've built this methodology. So it's a consciously crafted methodology to understand your customers and then to change what's broken and to focus on marketing that works. And to be honest, what's important is that marketing is the last component. So it starts with research, it goes on with segmentation, it goes on with the internal alignment and having the right team, and then with customer journey, then with product, then with customer experience, and the last component is the marketing. And unfortunately, many companies start with marketing without understanding that they've built a prototype. It's like a work in progress company. It's not done. You shouldn't be paying your tribute to Facebook or Google Ads or Instagram or TikTok or whatever yet. Yeah, you need to push the pedal of acquiring customers only after you validated that you have the right products, selling to the right customers with the right message.
Absolutely. And it's so funny, as you were saying that, I was thinking that we put the cart before the horse way too much, because we go, I got to market more. But if we're not marketing and really dialed in on how I can serve whoever that ideal client is, we go a mile wide instead of a mile deep. And the only way to go a mile deep is to do exactly what you're saying, figure out what the customer really, really wants. And as you were talking about that too, I pictured the 99%. Would you get in a plane? If I got on a plane and you were, I was the pilot, and I said to you, listen, Valentin, we're about 99% sure we're not going to have a malfunction on our flight across the ocean. Would you leave that plane? I certainly would. You're 99. I want you 110% sure. But what we do is we get there 99%, and then we think, yep, that's good enough. It's not good enough. We're throwing good money after bad. So if I'm understanding, if we kind of flip the script or put the horse before the cart in our scenario here, we can actually amplify profits with a lot less angst, cost, etc., because we're doing it the right way. So maybe it's a little more upfront work, but the long-term game is skyrockets it. Did I understand that?
Yeah, that's correct, Connie. And what's also important to understand is that customer lifetime value is not like gravity, so it can be changed. But if you don't focus on this aspect, like how much profit can I get from our customers, instead of acquiring new customers which are not that profitable, then nobody's gonna come up to change your business. So if we are talking here with entrepreneurs, thanks, first of all, kudos for listening to this podcast, because that means you're growing, right? You can't grow if you are simply ruminating on your own thoughts, right? And that's why you need this type of podcast to educate yourselves. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business manager, if you have the, let's say, the capacity to change the destiny of your company or to influence it, then you need to understand that customer lifetime value, it's a vital component of the growth pace of any company. So you can't reach profitability unless you have profitable customers. But if you're not measuring the profitability at any given customer, then how can you improve the overall profitability, right? So you need to become customer-centric. You need to understand who are your best customers, why they buy, what makes them come back to buy again, or vice versa. Because any company has good customers, amazing customers. So even though if there are only, 1% of them, but if you have those, they hold the, let's say, the knowledge so that you acquire more like them. But if you don't focus on them, if you don't do research, if you don't look at what they are buying, then you simply go out there to chase for new customers, which will never come back.
And here's the thing too, I deal mostly with banks across the country, and they have different ratios, but it's funny because existing customers are already profitable, right? Because they've been with you 5-10 years, whatever it might be, and they come back and buy every time. In this case, they have a financial situation. But we're always doing marketing and looking externally. And I want to say the last count, and I could be wrong on this. So my bankers out there, you can email me and say, Connie, you were wrong, because I'm not perfect. But I think it's 3 to 4 years before a new client even hits the profitability metrics within an organization. So we're so busy. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be bringing in new blood. We should always be looking to develop new business, right? New intel. But if we're only focusing on that and we're not caring for our customers that are already profitable, number one, we're not serving, shame on us. But number two, we're not tapping into how to attract more of those same clients that are already profitable, generating or getting referrals, et cetera. So again, like-minded people are finding us. So I agree with what you're saying. Again, I think we flip things around and we look for the end result instead of saying, what do I have here that's already profitable and how can I leverage that? We're looking for new all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which that's not the way to build a sustainable business. If you think about it, I mean, look at these companies which have made amazing, like, I don't know, Starbucks, Apple, you name it. All those companies have been amazing at serving their customers so that their customers started to come back to buy again. And then they amplified their brand to new customers so that their customer acquisition cost goes down, which that's the most important ratio, right? Yeah. How much you are getting from a customer and how much you are paying to get that customer. And if you don't have this CLV to CAC ratio at a healthy level, which is around 3 to 1, then you are burning a lot of money. And eventually you'll be running out of business because, as Jeff Bezos used to say, I'm in the business of being able to pay more than anyone else to acquire a customer. So that's who's going to win the market down the line. The one who affords to pay the most, because this is the competition game.
It's true. And we have to know what those margins look like, right? So we're chasing the right client, the right man, spending our money wisely. What are the key stages of your CVO methodology? Can you go through that for us?
Yeah. So first of all, you start by monitoring what matters, which you can't improve what you don't measure, right? So you start by monitoring things like customer lifetime value, customer acquisition cost, NPS, the purchase frequency. So these metrics are important because these are the dominant numbers for any business model. Once you have the metrics outlined over there, you focus on, okay, who has the best metrics out of my customer? So you segment the customers. In retail, for instance, we are using RFM, which stands for recency, frequency, and monetary value, right? So you have customers that bought the most recently, the most frequently, and have the highest lifetime value. Those are your ideal customers. So by segmenting them, you already are in a better place to understand who has these best metrics. After you find out your ideal customers, it's time to blend the quantitative data with the qualitative data, which means, in a nutshell, to go out there and to do in-depth research on a few of those customers. So basically, that's applying to B2B, to B2C, to services businesses, to whatever. And of course, to retail and direct-to-consumer brands. So you get your best customers and you put them under the microscope by actually talking with them. Because what's important is not their demographics. Because, I don't know, I'm a 44 years old man. Maybe I can buy a brand or another. So that doesn't force me to buy a Tesla, let's say. Maybe I can be 80 years old and I still can buy a Tesla. But what's important is the struggling moment. So what forced me, what made me make this buying decision to buy this product from that particular company? And knowing these struggling moments allows you to market completely different. And we've got numerous moments when we've made this, got these aha moments, like, wow, I mean, you can sell the same freaking thing to a girl which is 20 years old and to or to a guy which is 80 years old. So what's different? What matters is the triggering event. So what causes customers to buy? And once we know that, then we can go on and optimize and change the messaging, change the customer journey, change the products that we're selling, or the customer experience, which are the latest part of the CVO methodology. But as you see, Connie, it's more about research. So you don't have, you need to have a clear mind, an empty mind. You need to go out there and to recognize that I don't know everything about my business. Let's ask our best customers, and then let's ask more of our customers which of those statements are correct.
It's so fascinating. I have so many questions. So here's the thing, Valentin, with what you just said. I think with all the marketing people that I've spoken to and on the show, you have to know your ideal client, but they don't say how to find the ideal client. They say, pick an avatar, pick your best client and talk to that client. They never talk. Well, most of them, I shouldn't say that. Many of them do not talk about doing the research to really dial into who that ideal client is. So I think I know, but they're not saying, no, look at the numbers. Where is the profitability? That's where you focus on. So they understand the ideal client, but I think how to get there, that just made the most sense. A light bulb just went off for me. I have to understand it, then research it. Is it really profitable? Why is it profitable? Who are they? What are the struggles? What are the triggers? I like that word, triggers. And now I know how to market and how to dial in to life stage, whatever it might be. That's the trigger. This is fascinating. The other thing I wanted to comment on, we have the AI now capability. I bet 20 years ago, you had a lot of spreadsheets going to figure all this out. Now we have this computer capability behind the scenes to dump data in. And I bet your analytics are really rich with good intel to help us literally dial in microscopically to who our ideal client is. So now we have the technology. You had the brain, you had the thought, you had the expertise 20 years ago, probably ahead of your time as well. But now I bet it has become so much easier because of the technology to support the research.
That's right. So first of all, Connie, yeah, indeed, you've got this old type of marketing, buyer persona, ideal customer, but they were simply some, I don't know, fictional characters that they've built into their office. You know, I mean, let's build the buyer persona. His name is Ron, and he's like that, and he has a dog and whatever. So that's not how it works. How it works is to look at your best customers when it comes to lifetime value and recency and frequency, and then it works to go there and to have actual conversations with them. So you do interviews which are like 90 minutes long, because in the first 20 minutes, they are simply bullshitting you, not because they want that, but they want to be grateful for the fact that you bring value to their lives. I mean, when you have a customer that bought 20 times or 5 times or 50 times from a brand, and that brand invites them to an interview, they feel privileged because they've got value. They've extracted value from that brand. So in the first 20 minutes, you have to discount everything they say, because they just want to be grateful. And after that, after you get this out of the way, then you can ask the right questions. You can ask things like, hey, when you've bought from us, how you've heard about us, and what was your situation? What was the context that you were in? Maybe you've got a kid, maybe you were on the street, maybe you were hungry, maybe whatever. So you need to understand the context which provoked the first thought to buy a product or service. And then you need to recreate the purchase journey, because what matters is that when we buy whatever we buy, we don't buy everything on the spot. We buy that because we plant seeds in our minds that we want to get rid of some frustrations or some pains or some problems. You know, like when I've changed my phone, it's not because I wanted a new phone. I wanted a phone that shouldn't let me down with the freaking battery at 4 p.m. when I was supposed to pick up the kids. So that was the struggle that made me put like a bookmark in my mind. I'm going to freaking change you, phone. You know, and then when the opportunity arises, and when I've started to go out there and to go from passively looking to actively looking, I've started to search for that phone, but I already knew my buying criteria. I wanted a phone that has a battery that lasts at least 1 day if I'm using it intensively, and so on. So basically, that's how you find the ideal customer. But by looking at customers that have already bought from you multiple times, are happy with what they've got, so that you can extract the context that they were in and to leverage the things that they say. Because to be honest, Connie, they write your own freaking ads. I mean, if you listen to your simple customers, it's way better than coming up with the marketing copywriting ideas, because the most effective and impactful copy is the simple one, because nobody wants to use their brain power to decipher what you want to sell to me.
Absolutely. A couple of things popped into my head as you were going through this. So Costco, that's and you're in Romania, I'm in the United States, right? So Costco, I don't know if I think it's everywhere. We live at that store. I buy clothes there, the food, because I have 2 boys. So recently, niece and nephew got married. Another niece and nephew moved in together, and all of a sudden they have Costco cards. So I'm 60, they're 20s, right? Soon to be 30. Their need for Costco wasn't there because they were living at home with my sister. Right now, they're on their own and they see the value of Costco. They learned it maybe going to the store with mom and dad, right? So there's that a pivotal change. 2 different demographics. The need is the same: save money and have to buy food, etc. So that's what popped into my head as you were going through that demographic difference. Costco has done a really good job of having their own brands and all of these things, but they do a ton of research, client research. I think they had a special on Netflix or something with their toilet paper. The amount of research they did with clients and building their toilet paper, they sell more toilet paper than any other brands, I think, in the world. Toilet paper. But what they did first was reach out to the client to say, but why do you like our toilet paper? Why do you buy Charmin or whatever the other brands are? The other thing I wanted to comment on is it's easy to see that repeat business because we are tracking more now that we have the technology. So if you can pinpoint who those exponentially repeat customers are, then the other piece of it that I wanted to comment on is you said, then you get them in a room and oh my gosh, what a concept. Have a conversation, right? Technology is a beautiful thing. We still have to include that human component. Otherwise, we're really shooting blanks in the dark. And I think that's dangerous. So I love your whole methodology of, yes, the qualitative and the quantitative, but you have to make sure that we bring the human component into the game. And I just love that. That made so much sense as you were talking.
Yeah, and Connie, here the beauty of this endeavor is that you will understand a lot of things that you weren't aware as a company. And to do this, of course, you need to be open-minded. And what I've also realized by applying the same methodologies to companies that are our customers, what I realized is that the pain precedes this type of endeavor. So the companies which are doing well, amazing, whatever, they get into this inertia. They don't discover things anymore. They are not curious anymore, because pain is what drives a new behavior. And in order to do this kind of research, in order to look at what's my profitability by customer, what products are causing our customers to be so profitable, for instance, for a retailer that has, I don't know, 20,000 SKUs or 5,000 or 200, it doesn't matter. There are some products which are amazing when it comes to profitability, because if they are being bought in the first order, then the chances for these customers to buy again are exponentially higher than with other products. And that's why we need to look at this type of things. And you were saying earlier about AI, I'm a big fan of it. Of course, we are applying it. Our technology is reliant on this as well. But as long as people buy from other people, you need people to understand what's going on with their emotions. Maybe in the future is going to be a different thing. Maybe our, I don't know, phones will buy from other devices. But until then, we have to understand what triggers these emotions and this buying behavior.
Yeah, the science is good, but humans are still humans. And you're right. The pain triggers a change or a need. Like you said, I'm aggravated because my phone isn't staying charged, because I use it. It's old now. I have to go and buy. I have to. It's not should I, it's I have to be able to function in business. The other thing you said that I giggled, a quote popped into my head. Good is truly the enemy of great. When things are good, people don't change. They don't seek change. They don't become curious. We become very complacent. And that to me is dangerous because, and it was so funny, this week I had a conversation with a client or potential client. And as we were chatting, she said to me, in spite of ourselves, we're making profit, but they're not spending any money on their employees. They're not adding any new technology. They're not adding. And I said, think if your CEO had that thought of, oh my gosh, we're doing great in spite of ourselves. What if we started to peel back the onion? I said, you might be able to 10 times, 100 times your profitability. So complacency is a very, very bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and this inertia happens to all of us, you know, like we do, and it's human behavior. But we have to do as business owners, we have to fight this type of inertia, because at the end of the day, it's not the comfort that led us where we are. There were all these pains, these struggles, those moments when we couldn't make the ends meet, and we found a solution. So we need to be in this state, you know, to put ourselves into this state and to think of, and that's I don't know, a mind game that I'm playing with myself, is to not to look at what I want, is what the company needs, you know, I mean, what's the best for the company, for me to do, for us to do. And when you look at this way, you know, when you understand that your company is your craft, you know, I mean, if you would be a painter, then you would be doing paintings. But if you're an entrepreneur, a business manager, whatever, that's your craft, man. So if you do this, do an amazing craft out of yourself, because I don't know, time is limited on this planet. It's not like we are immortals.
Amen. And we waste so much time. We're almost out of time. I do have one more quick question. So what would be a quick win for businesses that are starting or curious about the CVO methodology?
Yeah. So the first thing, if you are curious, I wrote an entire book. It was the hardest project that I've made. It's called The CLV Revolution. I put out there all my knowledge about it. You find out the entire process, and also a lot of success story, case studies from how a company realized from a fireman that their ideal customer profile was completely different, how they found out that they are selling completely different things to completely different audiences, how a company realized that they should be marketing cities without shopping malls, because that's where their ideal customers were. So I've put there a lot of real success stories, but and the entire process, it's like a manual, to be honest. That's the feedback that I'm getting from the readers. So that's the first thing. And if you're way more curious about it, we have the CVO Academy. I teamed up with the economic professors, with email marketing specialists, with PPC specialists, and customer behavior experts. And we've crafted this CVO Academy. We have a free course over there for everyone which is interested to hear more about this.
This is unbelievable. And I think that because if you're not familiar with the CVO, right, methodology and business approach, because you have to remember too, and I just recorded another show, Valentin, and it's funny because as we age, we hear things and we think that's not relevant to me, or I don't understand that. And I always say when I'm in networking with my peers and they go, oh, that technology, it's beyond me. I said, stop saying that, because you're going to become irrelevant really, really quickly. And your business is going to fold. And they're going to, what happened? Well, you didn't stay relevant. How could your business stay relevant? You don't have a pulse of what's going on out there. You're missing the boat. We're missing so much information that is literally available now at our fingertips because of all of the automation that's happening. It's quick. Data's there. What do you do with it? That's the key piece. And that's what you're talking about. So I love that book. You know, I have to read this book now because you've built my curiosity. And I think it is the path of least resistance that a lot of people listening are going, I never thought about the valuation, right, of that lifetime value of the client. Hopefully this will be a pattern interrupt for them to get curious again, to say, have I been marketing and doing all this money I'm spending to generate new business? Am I throwing good money after bad? And can we do it more efficiently? Time and money are both precious commodities. So I'm loving what I'm hearing. Anything else before we sign off, Valentin? But this is awesome.
Yeah. So Connie, I will leave you with this thought, and I will leave the audience with this thought. What are the chances that you've built the best customer journey with the best unique value proposition with the best marketing messaging and so on? What are the chances? And if you think that the chances are not 100%, then you have to look over customer lifetime value. You need to look at your best customers to extract what's wrong from their own mouths, and then to increase your chances to have the best customer journey out there. And you can't do this unless you change your behavior. So you always have to change your behavior and to look out for things like this. And hopefully I've added a bit of value in your lives. Thanks a lot for listening to this and for having me today, Connie.
Yeah, and truly a joy, Valentin. I really loved it. Don't hang up yet. I want to share your info. So guys, if you're intrigued and you're thinking, oh my God, this is certainly a blind spot for me, Valentin's email is valentin.radu, R-A-D-U, at omniconvert.com. I will put that in the show notes. Of course, the website is omniconvert.com. And you do have a gift for everybody. Can you just tell them what that is? And I promise, guys, I'll put that link in the show notes as well. But what is that gift?
Yeah, so you can go to the clvrevolution.com. You can get from there 5 tools that I've crafted, and these are accessible for free for you. And also you can read the first chapter of my book for free. And if you're intrigued, you can get more of that.
The link on the free gift, they'll get the free chapter as well, and there'll be a link if they want to buy the whole book too.
Yeah,
you know I'm going to. That's why I want to make sure I could get to you, dude. Right? That's my agenda over here, Valentin. This is such an important topic, and I think now that the technology is there, because here's the thing, right? Businesses have all of this data. How are they mining the data? And I think that's the important piece. And then the other piece that you said that just hit home for me is the data is a beautiful thing, but now we need to go and ask more questions, human to human, so that the data becomes a story almost, right? We really understand what the data is telling us, not what we want it to be or what we want it to tell us. We're actually crafting that story direct from the client. So thank you so much. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. You've gotten me excited. Can you see? My brain is like pop, pop, pop. There's so many things that I look forward to reading the book, and I will email you if I have any questions.
Of course. Thanks a lot, Connie. It's been amazing to be here with you.
Thank you so much. A real pleasure. Again, don't go. I just want to close, and then I want to say thank you. So please don't hang up on me yet. I promise we'll be very quick. And I hope you will join me weekly as we question, build, and discover, no matter where you are in change in your life. In this case, it was change in business, right, with the client lifetime value. But no matter where you are in life or business, my guests and I truly have your back. Please download the gift. There's always have to be a call to action. Information's a beautiful thing. If we do nothing with it, it's just information in your brain. As soon as we put it into action, I promise you, magic happens, profitability happens, change in our life happens, and life becomes a heck of a lot more fun. So again, download the free gift, read the book by all means. So you have 2 call to actions today. Valentin, thank you again for sharing your zone of genius with my peeps. And thank you all for tuning in. You've been listening to Enlightenment of Change. It's me, your host, Connie Whitman, on webtalkradio.com. I am honored to have you on this journey of change with me. And I truly, truly hope that you take this information and put it into your life. And let's make some money so we could do some really grand things in the world. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one, everybody.